Welcome to Monday Motivation. Be the heroine of your life. So, what if we could learn to be our own heroes? Heroes are not born, they are made. Life presents challenges that shape us into the individuals we are destined to become. During these moments, we realize the profound truth. Sometimes you must be your own hero. You have likely heard that we don't know how strong we are until we face challenges. Yeah, there's some truth to that. But what if we didn't wait for life to inevitably test us with a challenge or a hardship? Maybe your answer is, it's too late for me to be my own hero. But I say, no, it's not too late. Too often we know what we need, but we cannot make an effort. You do have a choice, though. You can choose to embrace your challenges and grow from them, or ignore them and stay stuck in the same place you always were. Or maybe since you finished or got through your challenge. You've probably heard me say this before. We have to choose to take control of what's within our control. But that also means we have to learn to let go of what isn't within our control. That sounds simple, but living it out, well, that's where it gets hard. Because so often we spend our energy holding onto things we were never meant to carry. Because we spend our energy, waiting for circumstances to change or waiting for clarity, waiting to feel ready. Ready for what? Sometimes it's hard to even define what we're waiting for. But at the same time, we hesitate to step into the very things that are within our control. Our choices, our next step, the way we move forward from where we are. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. If we haven't met before, my name is Terri Sterk. I am a wellness coach and author. I serve women like you and like me, those of us who have experienced challenging seasons. My aim is to help you nurture wellness of body, mind, and spirit. There comes a point when you realize you can't control everything that's happened in your life, but you can choose what to do next. And that's where your power is. That's where the shift begins. When you've been through difficult seasons like illness, loss, unexpected life changes or transitions, or another trauma. There are many. But we learn how to survive. We learn how to endure and get through that difficulty. We learn how to keep going even when everything in you feels tired and ready to give up. That matters. Survival takes strength, and we had strength to get through it. But survival and thriving are not the same thing. Survival says, just get me through this day, or just get me through this moment. Get me through this treatment. Thriving says, how do I move forward from here? What have I learned from this experience? At some point, staying in survival mode begins to hold you back. And I think it's because you've outgrown that season. You're ready to move forward. It's time for more. One of the most common patterns I see is this. We all say it in different ways, but we have this self-talk where we say, I need more time. I'm just not ready. I need more clarity. I don't understand why this happened to me. I just don't know what to do to feel stronger. And those things sound wise. Sometimes they sound responsible, but often they're just keeping us stuck. Because readiness, well, it's a moving target. And if you're not careful, you can spend years waiting for a feeling that only comes after you begin. In my book, Thrive After Breast Cancer, part 2 is called Take Charge, Be the Heroine of Your Life. That's this book right here. That section of the book, part 2, came from a very real place. It came from my realization that I may not have chosen everything that happened to me, but I did get to choose what I did next. That's the shift that helped me realize that thriving was the only option. Sometimes our limiting beliefs are our primary reason we feel stuck. Let me read a few paragraphs from chapter 7 of the book. Chapter 7 talks about beliefs and busting those beliefs. This particular section is titled Beliefs Are Your Greatest Power. Have you ever felt stuck? Stuck in a rut and unable to move forward? It could be because your limiting beliefs, you're living in those limited beliefs. These negative thoughts, conscious or unconscious, can hold you back and prevent personal and professional growth. But don't worry, if you can overcome them. Our subconscious mind often uses limiting beliefs to protect us from disappointment or frustration, from failure, from uncertainty. They're born from past experiences that left a negative impression on us. To conquer them, to conquer limiting beliefs, we first need to identify the root of the problem and replace that negative belief with a positive message. By changing your thoughts, you can change your life. Let's break free from limiting beliefs together. Here's a little something to help you. After you've identified, well, first of all, think of a belief that you have that's getting in the way of you taking action, or a limiting belief about making the progress you want in your life. It could be a decision you are procrastinating on, or a step that needs to happen to help you move forward toward whatever goal you seek or desire. After you have identified the limiting belief, now recognize the consequences of that belief by answering these questions. What has the belief destroyed in your life? The second one is, how has it held you back from happiness or joy? How does it impact your ability to thrive? Answering these questions about your limiting belief requires you to be truthful and vulnerable. But that's where things begin to change. Not everything can be fixed. Sometimes there are other people involved or outside circumstances that aren't within our control. But when it is within our control, then we can feel certain about our ability to push that limiting belief away. You can decide, I'm going to take a step forward anyway. Answering those questions that I mentioned and combating that belief will help you to move forward. And it'll help you be the heroine of your life. Now, it doesn't mean you have to figure everything out. Being your own hero doesn't mean you're fearless or that everything is easy, but it does mean something much more grounded than that. It means you're willing and you're able. You're willing to face where you are, honestly and truthfully. No more pretending, no more minimizing, no pushing it aside, no more saying, oh, I'm okay. It takes truth and really admitting where your fears are, where your limitations are. Just truth. Instead of being defined by what happened to you, let it become your starting point. It also means you take responsibility for your next step. Not your whole future, not even 10 steps ahead, just that next step. And sometimes that step looks simple. It might be something like setting a boundary for yourself. I know I have to do that. Not necessarily always with people, but a boundary for myself, to protect myself from myself. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy. It also, another first step might be just asking for help. I need assistance. I'm not sure what to do. Or it might be trying again after you've tried once and gotten discouraged. It might even start with deciding to make your bed first thing in the morning. Sometimes that's the first task you do in the day. But it is a task and you did it. It's a good first step. And maybe most importantly, being the heroine of your life means you stop waiting for permission from other people. Above all, whatever you do, be the heroine of your life. When we've been through difficult seasons, our life is never the same again. But moving forward doesn't have to be a big decision. It still matters. It doesn't have to be a big breakthrough or a big moment. Just one step at a time. Maybe it's one decision to move forward, or one moment where you choose differently? Maybe it's one decision and where you take an action that says, I'm not staying here any longer. I'm taking one step forward. So you shift your direction. It helps you build momentum. It reminds you that you are not stuck. So let me ask something today. Where have you been waiting instead of choosing? Or what part of your life have you been holding back? Maybe there's some activity you stopped and you haven't gotten started again. And what is one step, just one, you could take this week? Not a leap, but just a small step. Not a complete overhaul, just a small step. Because here's the truth I want you to carry with you. You are not here to simply get through your life. You're here to live it intentionally, courageously, boldly, one step at a time. Being the heroine of your life doesn't mean everything is easy. It means you're willing. You're willing to begin, willing to grow, willing to take a risk, willing to take the next step, even if it feels small. And that step, it's enough. That's all you need to do this week to get started. You don't have to go back to who you were. You get to become whoever you want to be. Finding your better normal is the goal. And it begins with just one choice. So thank you for joining me today. As always, I'm cheering you on.